Hello there. So welcome. I'm Peter, one of the co-founders of Intelligex, and very warm welcome to the webinar we're holding here today. If there's any problems with the sound, if you could just ping back, otherwise I'll just carry on. So in conjunction with Mark, my co-founder, we're going to cover the topics today that you've seen on the invitation. We think the markets going into 2019 are really exciting given their volatility and that there's great money to be made. So we're going to take the next 45 minutes of your time explaining how you can make money in only 15 minutes per day. And we should have some time at the end for Q&A. We're also going to show you some live demos of what's happening in the markets today. Before I do that, just a bit of background. So when me and Mark look around the industry that we're in, we see a lot of things that we don't like. We see too many businesses that are happy to take your money and not deliver on what they say, and we want to change all that. We know we can only be successful by providing you a service that truly helps you day in and day out. So our goal is to make you a more successful trader. It's as simple as that. You won't see lots of testosterone-driven presentations from us or lots of hard sells. That's just not us. That's not what we do. What you will see is advice and support on how to trade the markets using a great product, which we know can augment your own expertise. And that point is really important, so I'll repeat it. The Intelligex tool can augment your own expertise. By watching the tool and its suggestions, you can become a better trader. And it's not about taking every trade and trying to max out on every one. It's about setting a plan and sticking to it to ensure you make money within a risk profile that you are comfortable with. We'll show you how to use the product in different market scenarios, and we'll provide ongoing support so you can get the most out of it. Now, we're so convinced in what we do, if you do decide to take up the 30-day trial and can't make it work, then you'll get your money back, as simple as that. I know our success is linked to your success. We've had some amazing reviews of our product from our customers, and some of them are now blogging about their journey with Intelligex, which we love, by the way. Go onto the website if you want to see more, and while you're there, don't forget to opt in to receive updates and fill out the questionnaire for a chance of winning a free trial. We give away 5 free trials a month on the basis of questionnaires that you've replied to. At the end of the presentation, I'll let you know about some exciting offers that we've got and how to contact us if you feel your questions haven't been answered during the Q&A. So, what are we going to cover today? Forecasting market direction, setting your strategy and goals, personalizing your stops and risk profile, and effectively using the Intelligex trade signals. Now, we're confident that once you're up to speed, you'll be able to do this in 15 minutes per day using Intelligex. The webinar content is pitched at people who are currently trading, but don't worry if you're not, as you'll get the idea, and there's a lot more detailed content that we have and can make available to you. So now I'm going to hand over to Mark to cover these areas, and I'll be back at the end of the presentation.
Thanks, Peter. Hi there, my name is Mark. Well, a bit of my background, I'm mainly I'm a quant and I love trading. Been doing it for more years than I care to remember. Worked for many large banks and hedge funds. So the first thing I'm going to cover is just put everybody in the same page. I want to cover forecasting market direction. I think everybody knows the only thing you can guarantee about a forecast, it will be wrong. Certainly sometimes, but I like to think we're right more times than we're wrong. So what I'm going to show you is directionally exactly how the artificial intelligence-based algorithms work and underpin that knowledge. So let's put everybody in the same page first off. And just really basics here. Some of this is for newbies. So as most people will know, markets work on a really simple basis of support and resistance. If you work left to right on the diagram above, you can see the price drops, hits the support level, more buyers come in to purchase and up the price goes. Price gets towards the resistance level and then the price falls. That's how price moves. It moves between support and resistance. The key to success in trading is really predicting where the resistance and support areas are going to be. That way you're buying and selling at the right time, and that's crucial. Sorry about that, my mouse control is a bit weak this evening. What we've done here is basically decode millions of market data points using AI to see if we can identify where support and resistance are likely to occur. And what that's done is basically enabled us to forecast when traders are most likely to come to the market. We'll get to seeing it live in just a few minutes, so don't panic. We're not going to be hours on these slides. What we've done is basically group traders into what we call swarms, as I said, 3 swarms. SW1, Swarm 1, these tend to be day traders and transactional traders. People have really, you have got to trade. They're buying dollars to cover a business bill, for example. Those types of people. You know, one of our business, we have to buy American dollars to keep it going. So therefore, we've got no choice to trade. We're not interested in long-term position holding or anything like that. Swarm 2, that tends to be larger corporates and institutions. Covers organizations that are trading for big business reasons. And usually they trade in larger volumes. As an example, if British Airways wants to buy a Boeing, they've got to go out and buy over a period of time, 200 million US dollars, marginally more than the number that I buy. And finally, we've got the SW3 swarm. Today is a fascinating day to see this. You'll see in a couple of minutes, we had a little thing called a Brexit vote today, which is quite interesting in the UK. And you'll see the Swarm 3 come into play here, where the government came in and did some business, I believe. So those are the 3 ways that we look at support and resistance. But as I say, we call them swarms. Other components we have within the software. We have, first off, the projected range. You're going to see this as well. And the concept of a projected range is mathematically, we're predicting where the instrument that you're looking at is likely to trade over whatever period you select. So you can choose a period, for example, of an hour. What's my hourly range likely to be? Or if you want to be a long-term trader, what's my weekly range likely to be? Fundamentally, we recommend you select a time period, obviously above the period you're trading. So in my case here, in a minute, you'll see I'm trading a 5-minute DAX, and I've got a 1 hourly range on there because I want to know when we break out through that range and potentially take a trade at that time. Very useful component, the projected range. As I said, it works on all time frames. So next thing I'll cover off is how swarms can help forecast market direction. The swarms are, as I said, they're basically fluid support and resistance levels. You can see here, this is almost a perfect scenario on the screen where we've got the 3 swarms. I'm just going to see if I can turn on my drawing in a second, which I will. And fundamentally, you've got 3 swarms here. And as you can see on screen, classic candlestick chart, swarms overlaid. Swarm 1 is the lightest gray, swarm 3 is darkest, and swarm 2, surprise, surprise, is the one in between. Just to keep it simple, I haven't put the projected range on here. You can see what's happening is the price tracking along within swarm 1, and then 2 things happen. First of all, we hit swarm 1, and we bounce away from it. We move away from swarm 1. The support's kicked in, things are looking good. We move on again, and at this point here, we're actually breaking out through swarm 1 as well. So it means that upper band of swarm 1 is not acting as a strong resistance level, and we move out of it. So these things are real time, and as I say, in a couple of seconds, you'll see how it works. So 15 minutes a day is what we promised, and I'll tell you exactly how that 15-minute takes place. You need to set a strategy and set your goals as part of it. So what do we mean by setting a strategy? Well, there's got to be a reason why you got into trading in the first place, or why you want to get into trading now. Think about the amount of money you have to invest for it, the returns that you want, and what level of risk you're prepared to accept. These are really important questions, whether you're trading to try and save up for your kids' college fund or just trying to make some extra money, right? You need to be able to answer these questions up front, and then you're more likely to both enjoy the trading experience because you've got a clear goal to head for. It also really focuses your mind on what you're doing and gives you the discipline that is essential. When you're setting your goals, though, be realistic. You can make good money from trading. We was with a gentleman earlier on today who, using IntelliGEX, has been making a consistent 20% and above per month, and he believes now he's really got the hang of it. He's going to head for 3 digits this month. He thinks he'll make 100% on his money, which, having seen him trade, I think it's very, very possible. So moving on from there, let's start getting into the software itself. I'll show you some screenshots before you see it live, obviously. There are 2 things you need to do with IntelliGEX. You basically set the direction, and then you set your targets and risk parameters. So setting the direction, it's not binary, okay? When you trade with IntelliGEX, you tell the algorithms a little bit about how you want it to trade long and a little bit about how you want it to trade short. Now, why do you tell it long and short strategies? The answer is you want flexibility. So for example, today, again on the pound, I wanted to trade long and short, definitely, because I knew there'd be a lot of volatility out there. Okay, very simple to do. I'll do it live for in a couple of seconds. Once you've done that, you tell the algorithm what you're hunting for in terms of a target. You see on the right hand side of the screen here, target is highlighted. There are 3 settings for your targets. C is conservative, M is moderate, and A is aggressive. It's as simple as clicking the button to tell the algo, hunt me down aggressive trades, conservative trades, or moderate trades. I typically trade aggressively. That's because I've seen the algos at work for yonks, and therefore I'm very happy trading aggressively. There are times though when I trade moderately, and you'll see that in a couple of secs. So that's really important to understand, that you're setting your target. So you've decided your target, you know what you're going to trade. The next thing you do is you think about your time period. Most people, if you're using IntelliGEX, will trade between 5 and 15 minutes. We will give you some suggestions as to what time periods, and there's one of the services we'll show you a bit later on that comes with it, where we'll even broadcast to you what we're trading and when we trade it. Next thing to do is to make sure you have a risk profile set that's really personal to you. We've mentioned risk a few times already, and everybody here should know that trading, like most things in life, has an element of risk. Understanding your risk profile is key to becoming a successful trader. For me personally, my risk level, I'm 54 now, has changed significantly over the last year because of a life event. My son finished private school. I don't have to save up for his fees anymore, so I can both be much more risky with my trading. His college fees have already been paid for thanks to trading. And in addition to that, I can actually afford to go out and eat somewhere as well. No, I don't have those school fees to pay. So I'm very grateful he got to that age. The point here is that as you understand the level of risk that works for you, set your trading criteria around it and stick to it. You can trade really comfortably, confidently. The system will auto trade for you, you know, while you're at work, if you're working or if you're out playing golf or whatever. But whatever you do, don't ever risk more money than you should in a trade or get into riskier trades than you should. You won't enjoy it, and I guarantee you will make basic errors. So what does it mean in practice? It means not risking more money than you can afford to lose, okay? And we give you some risk guidelines as well on each trade that you should take notice of. So next part of your 15 minutes a day is this. It's setting your risk profile. Really what you do here is you basically tell IntelliGEX whether you wish to use tight, moderate, or wide stops. Okay, tight follows up really quite tightly, as the name implies, obviously behind your trade. Now, these are not simple stops. If you want to analyze what they're doing, you're going to find it very difficult, because some of the ways that I see people calculating stops and saying, oh, just trail it by 5 points, trail it by 20 pips, do this, do that. They're not mathematically calculated. There's an extremely complex algorithm that decides when to move a stop. It's based on time, it's based on volume, it's based on price, it's based on a whole bunch of things. Very, very complex, and it's not something a human being can really calculate fast enough. But you'll see in a second how smart they are. It's one of the things that the eagle-eyed amongst you will have noticed. I have seen there's a question up there, incidentally. I just daren't click on it at the moment in case I lose my place on the slides. I'll get to the question at the end. Is what it says here is simulated trades mode, just there. That's because we recommend when anybody starts this, take the trial, use simulated trades mode, check that you can get it working. If you can't, if you're struggling, contact us and we'll tell you how to make changes to the way you're setting up. It may be when you first start, you go straight in aggressive with wide stops and then think, oh, what's going on here? You just need to think about it a little bit. And again, the training material and personal help will get you going. So how does the algorithms work, or how do the algorithms work? Good Lord, I forgot my basic English there. And how do you use the trading signals? Well, really simple. IntelliJax can work in 2 modes: simulated trades or live trading. As you said, I would really start in simulated mode and then move to live when you're comfortable. I know that everybody wants to get the shiny new toy out of the box as quickly as possible. You want to get your drone out and stop traffic at Gatwick or whatever. And we mostly ignore the instructions. What man amongst us hasn't tried to put a wardrobe together without looking at it and then discovering that you've got 9 screws left over at the end? But where trading is concerned, that is really not a smart idea. This is serious money at stake. And also, more importantly, you build memory patterns. If you're messing around with something and not taking it seriously, and you make even pretend money, your head psychologically says, oh, that's the way to trade. It isn't. Take your time to familiarize yourself with swarm behavior in your chosen markets, see how the algos work. I call them, obviously I tend to use algos. So here we go, let's see how they work. This is Quantum Trader. It's pretty much the most comprehensive tool I've seen for private traders to manage your trading. There are 6 algos currently released, each carrying out a different type of trade, and there's more in development. These cover swarm breakouts, swarm reversals, projected range breakouts, and projected range reversals. And basically what happens is you turn on the algos you want to be in play, and in each case, what the algo does is look at support and resistance continually, price, volume, etc. It then makes predictions as to what is happening and sends you signals complete with profit target and a stop loss for every trade, all based on your personal risk profile. It's a completely packaged trade. Once it's in a trade, IntelliJax sits there continually determining if a trade is a short-term move or a new trend. There are a couple of trades I'll show you that went on today where in the middle of a bar, in the middle of a 5-minute bar, IntelliJax went, wow, something unusual is happening here. I'm going to bring my stop up mid-bar to protect profits. It's fascinating. I've certainly never seen anybody outside of a hedge fund have that type of capability. So the system deals with the really difficult bits of trading, in essence: when to enter, how to calculate your stop loss, when to take profits. And last but not least, how to do all 3 of those things, remain completely free of emotion whilst applying all those rules, and be flexible enough to move between short and long without head spins. So that's what we're going to show you in 2 seconds here. There's a whole video in our training center just on using algorithms. All we're going to give you here is a taster, but if there's more things you want, etc., don't worry, there's tons of collateral. I also think, it's some people, the word algorithm, think it can be daunted by it. It isn't. Just think of a little robot sitting there doing stuff for you. We'll always follow the rules. Always follow the rules. So in the trial version of the product, just to be clear, what we do is we limit the algorithms you can use. Now, we don't do that because we're worried about, oh, the other algorithms are not as perfect. We do it so that you can get the hang of it and see how you can make money. And let's be clear on this, over your trial period, you should be able to get to see how you can make money. And you'll see today's trades and see what it does. Once that's done, you move beyond the trial, and then you can have a go at all the other algorithms and bring them into play. The guy I was telling you about earlier, he made his consistent 20% on the trial, and he's moved on from there. So what I'm going to do now is enough of the slides, and I'm just going to hopefully pause the sharing for 2 seconds and switch to live screen, which hopefully everybody can see. And what you're seeing here is 4 charts. I'll show you a couple more in a second. Top left-hand corner, you can see I've got a long strategy, and it's on the DAX, that's the German index. Below that is a short strategy on the DAX, that's the German index. Right-hand side is, top one is long on the Dow, bottom one is short on the Dow. Why do I have 2 strategies running at any given time? Quite simply because I always want the product to be thinking about, should I be short, should I be long? I want it to be looking at both types of trade. There is no such thing as a one-way market. It's one of the biggest problems human beings have, is getting their head around a short and long. You have an opinion. Most people have an opinion whether the Dow will go up today or won't go up. Luckily, the algos don't have any such preconceptions. The algos work independently and decide whether they're going up and down for the next few minutes. So let's talk you through some of today's action. Let's just start on the Dow. There's a trade here right in the middle here, you can see. I will expand it a bit so you can see a bit more. So there's 2 trades here, and this is started at 18. You can see the time's gone bottom at 5:30. So here's the first trade. Never afraid to show this. Losing trade. Where the cursor is now, the blue line is our entry. We entered at 24.31. We had an SR1 reversal looking for a long. It failed, and there's a tiny loss there of 15, 16 points. Nothing happens. We wait. A few minutes later, we get an entry there at 23,980, and you can see that just goes up, up, up to our conservative target. I was quite greedy here. You'll see here that I set my target to A, aggressive, where my mouse is now. Had I have set it to conservative, it would have taken its profit just here when we reached it. So that's from, where's that, 980 to 49. So that would have been a rather nice 49 plus 20, 69 points. As it goes, I didn't do that. I was looking for more. And so I only got 50, 60 points out of that. And so on and so forth as you move back. There's a trade here. If I just move back a couple of hours earlier, if you wanted to trade this obviously on a longer term candle, you trade it on a longer term candle, right? But here I didn't. I'm just literally trading on, as you can see, the 5-minute candle. Here's something that would interest you. This trade here, you can see our entry again, blue line, initial stop down here inside the orange box with the dotted line, comes down, nearly touches our stop after entry, doesn't, trade continues, moves up, hits our conservative target, didn't get taken out of the trade there, stop gets moved up here behind us rather nicely, and you'll see this cross underneath it. That cross is where IntelliGex has noticed there is some interesting price action, and it will then move the stop intra-trade in the middle of a trade if it believes that this move has some risk of coming to an end. And you can see on the very next candle, it moves it right up here to take us out of the trade. It got it slightly wrong. It was like a few points out, but it preserved it. Often you can see these reversals. That's 928, and we're out of the trade here at 65. So there's another 30 odd points there, and so on and so forth as you go back through the American day, through the night. And you can see here that you can see some trades here. I'm just going back a couple of days, just randomly. Boom, there's another huge trade profit there. That's long side. So does it work short side? Well, yeah, it works short side. So here's the short side on the Dow today. We're not in a trade at the moment, obviously. Here's another example. You can see the red cross here. We get into a trade. The market starts to move down quite quickly from 23,998. Moves down very, very quickly to get 50 points ahead. I should expand that. I'm being a complete dope, sorry. Very, very quickly to put us nicely ahead. You'll notice again, red cross above it appears. Intra-trade, you'll see it has moved the stop right down. So it's not saying, oh, I'll keep running this for a few candles. It's saying, no, this move is done and we're out there. Again, very nice move there. It's another 35 points. Had I have not had this on my particular setting, which is, in this case, I'm saying run until I get stopped out, I would have taken my profits here on the medium line. See, medium. How easy is it to change modes? In the middle of a trade or at the start of a day or at any time, if I click on the A, it will put me into aggressive mode, or M for medium stop, etc. If I want to turn a trade type on or off, let me just put this into test mode. Right. If I want to turn the trade on or off, that trade is now off. Trade's on. A for aggressive, and you can see it changes very clearly here on screen where it's looking to take its profits. So there's the Dow, you've seen the Dow, you've seen the DAX. Everything on here is configurable. If I just show you how configurable it is, for example, if I look at studies, let's just show you some of the settings. There are tons of them. So for those of you that don't want to stare at a screen all day long, there's a bunch of things you can do. You can set a profit target alert. With a profit target alert, you can say, once I get to my $1,000 target, stop trading. It will close everything and it won't trade anymore for you. You can do the same thing for a loss alert. You can change all of your colors. You can set alarms for when a trade comes, etc., etc. How easy is it to move into, because I'll just put that into there, how easy is it to move into live trading mode? I click on there, I say auto enabled, I say trade manager enabled. I can now walk away and that will trade that for me automatically. Very simple. Okay. So that's that. I'll just say something that happened earlier. As I say, for those of you in the UK, you'll know we had the Brexit thing. Here's Brexit. This is live over the last couple of hours. So here was the vote when it came out, and the first thing that happened was everybody was pretty excited because of the way the vote went. So we took from 127.75 to right up here. So that's a full cent, a full 100 pips taken there. And again, on the short side, what's happening now? I'll go right way along here. And huge trade there. And just before the vote, you see we took another, what's that? That's about another 70 pips there. So that pretty much gives you a flavor for what it's doing. Again, it will send you signals. It can make beep or whatever if you don't want to watch it, and you can put it into auto trade mode if you can. To be candid, we advise people not to use auto trade until you've watched it for a little while. Just make sure that it works for you. Make sure you're understanding what to do. But you should be able to see there how quickly you can do set yourself up in 15 minutes a day. So I take a look at the markets. Takes me a few seconds. All I do is decide, well, today I want to trade. So today's been a huge day on the pound, British pound. Tomorrow I would trade for medium targets with a tight stop. And actually I'll only take SR2 trades. So only take trades at the real extremes. That's just taken me maybe 30 seconds to do. When you first start, that's going to take you 1 or 2 minutes just to assess the long side, 1 or 2 minutes to assess the short side, but basically not very long at all if you do that over 3 or 4 instruments. Obviously, that's where you get your 15 minutes from. So, but literally 15 minutes. What I'll do now is I'll just flick back and show you something that we've just completely hot off the presses, which, I don't know why it's done that. That's completely bizarre. Let me just switch, which is this. Just about to release this, just releasing it. What this is basically trade signals via Telegram. So from our actual trading machine, our live trades that we're making will be broadcast. Takes under half a second to get to somebody on Telegram, provided obviously you've got mobile phone coverage or you're on the internet. What you can get, as you see here, this is a screenshot from somebody earlier on their mobile phone. It's in test mode at the moment on the DAX. We're just making sure that it scales and people are happy. And you can see here, earlier on here, broadcast to say we were 1 point from our target, trade continues. And it told us trade exit for conservative traders at 16 points up, trade continues for others, etc. So we'll actually give you pre-packaged trades to your phone or to your desktop to help you learn. Okay, what you see being pushed out from here are going to be based on my own market and algorithm settings for a number of key markets. Telegram can be used, multiple platforms, a Mac, everything like that. And more importantly, as I say, it can go straight to your mobile phone, so you'll never miss a trade. What I'm going to do now is hand back to Peter, who can summarize and tell you about some offers and things like that. And then we'll move on to Q&A.
Great. Thank you, Mark. Thank you all for listening. We're doing pretty well on time, so we'll have 10 or so minutes for Q&A. I hope what we've showed you there is the flexibility of the IntelliGex tool and how it can absolutely augment and help your own decision making. It enables you to apply your own expertise of the markets and use the algorithms that you set to enter into and exit trades based on your own strategy and your risk profile. So it's a very, very personal thing. We know that most customers tell us they can do it in 15 minutes per day, and comfortably by the end of the trial period, they get to that level. Equally, a number of customers say to us they actually now, given the capabilities of the tool, spend more time because they want to focus on more markets. So the decision is entirely up to you. It's a personal preference thing. Now, as I said at the beginning, our goal is to make you a more successful trader. Your success is our success. We fundamentally believe that. We don't believe we're like a lot of the other businesses out there. We want to make you successful because we know that's how we become successful. So we're on a journey here. We're loving what we're doing. We're really enjoying it. And hopefully you'll join us on this journey. So I said there was a sort of a couple of offers around. So if you'd like to take up the trial, there's a half price offer on the trial for webinar attendees. So you can either just type a code in on checkout or just email me directly if you're interested in that. What we're also going to do, which is a nice piece of innovation that Mark just talked about around telegrams, is we're going to give 14 days free use of telegrams across a number of markets for people to look and understand how those work. So if you want to take us up on the half price trial, which takes you down to $49 for 30 days, just at the checkout, you just type in Jan Trial 50. So JANTRIAL 50. And again, if you do it or forget what it is, then just ping me an email. That's absolutely fine. So we're going to move now on to Q&A. I see we have one question here already.
If you've got any questions, just type them in. It's no stress. Okay. I was just somebody saying that they were looking forward to it, and I'm just seeing now the questions are coming in different areas. So give me 2 seconds to get here. If using Ninja platform are the tools for Ninja 8, we have got Ninja 8 and we've got Ninja 7. So yeah, we've written it for both of them. If you want my honest opinion, if you want to be a live trader, I would personally use Sierra over Ninja every time. Reason why is because there's less latency. You trade, but if you've got Ninja 7 and 8, no problem at all. Yeah, works on both platforms. You trade mainly Forex. Do you cater for many pairs? The tool itself will work with everything, anything. It doesn't matter what you want to trade. Let's be clear. If you want to trade indexes, Forex, commodities, earlier on today, we were with a major UK gold trader. He's now using it for gold, silver, palladium. Anything that you can get good quality data on through your trading platform, you can trade. Any pair you want. You've obviously, you want to avoid some of the crazy ones, some of the crazy pairs that don't really trade much. For example, if you wanted to trade Norwegian krona against the North Korean won, I would recommend you don't bother trading that at all. But yeah, any pairs. Yeah, crude, no problem at all. Crude oil, CL, no problem at all. ES, E-mini, no problem at all. NASDAQ, no problem at all. The code for the trial discount, oh God, I don't know. I'm too... hold on. Peter will give it to me and I'll type it in. JANTRIAL 50, which I think quite cleverly is January Trial 50. Well done, Peter. That was quite well done there. Normally 28 main crosses. Yeah, all the main crosses are in there. Those of you that want to trade spreads, trade spreads as well. Though if you're a spread trader, you know that can be quite an interesting thing to trade at the moment when volatility is high, because the spreads can suddenly go out of alignment. If you look at the spreads on sterling today, it was crazy. But yeah, so anything you want to trade at work on any time frame, I've had people use it on 1 minute charts. That's fine. I wouldn't be doing that manually though. I'd definitely wait until I was auto trading before then. What is the price after trial? It's monthly. No, it doesn't come with a free 14-day trial. It comes with a $50 30-day trial. But if you don't like it or if you can't get it to work, we'll refund your money. And that's, we don't want to hang on to anybody's money that doesn't get on with it.
Yeah, the 14-day free trial is referring to the Telegram signals. So that's a new bit of functionality that we've just put in that Mark talked through, which we're going to run for a number of markets. And if you're interested in that, just ping an email over to info@intelligex.com and we'll add you to the list.
Yeah, intelligex.com. So it's these ones. So we've answered all of those questions. So yeah, if you want to, the 14 days, as I say, that's the signals. If you want the full software, that's a paid trial. I'm so sorry, I misunderstood your question there. So there we go. Are we just about done? Should I just summarize? That's great. So we've done our question answers. And we are magically done. Hopefully we didn't take up too much of your time. If you've got any other questions, if you wish afterwards that you really wish you'd ask the question, feel free to email us and we'll get back to you. Can I show the indicators again? Yes, of course. Yeah. What's a good trade if your bias is long? Okay, so if your bias is long, let me just flick back and I'll show you the software again. Let me just flick back. So let me answer these questions one at a time. So if your bias is long, then, yeah, and the webinar is being recorded. Yes, sorry, my bad. The webinar is being recorded. It will be made available to you there. Yes, so sorry about that. If your bias is long, this is how I would be trading it. If my bias was long, I would be saying from the long side, I want to take every reversal trade that I can, SR1 and SR2. So I catch as many as I can in terms of the reversal trades when it comes down and hits support. Every move away from support. I'd be taking aggressive targets. I'd still be having tight stops. The other thing I would be looking at is this, which is called a predicted range breakout. Very simple. I would basically say here, I'd go onto my studies, I'd go onto my projected range, and instead of taking a daily range, I would say, for example, I'll take 120 minutes as my projected range. And you'll see here, I'll put it in back test mode so you can see it test mode. And let me turn those two trades off, the reversals. And you'll see there that you will get breakout trades, lovely little breakout trade there, still trundling on. The market's closed, obviously, so it's in the Asian session, it's very slow. I'd take breakout trades, I'd take swarm 1 reversals and swarm 2 if I had a long bias. And then I would still set up my short trade, but I would set up my short side just like this. I'd have only reversal trades coming off of that very strong swarm 2, the almost, the big corporate, the institutional swarm. When those guys come in, they're coming in with power. So I'd be taking those swarm reversals, but I'd still only be looking for a medium target with a tight stop. So 2 biases in one. I want to be flexible. I want to make money both sides. That's how I'd set myself up if I had a long bias. Short bias, I'd flip it. The trades here that are grayed out are breakout trades and other trades. Don't even think about those for the first month. You'll see you can make some amazing trades with what we've got. The other thing I would do, again, if I had a long bias, I'd flip onto here. And I would say exit on stop only on my short, sorry, I'm in the wrong one. I wouldn't say exit on stop only on my short side. On my long side, because I could be expecting there, I would say exit on stop only. After 30 days, there's a series of prices you can buy for a year or whatever you want to do. Have a word, look on the website, it's got all the prices, or just email us, etc. When the trade goes fine, is it possible to progressively scale out of the trade at different levels of target? Yeah, that's actually a really, really sensible thing to do, Eusebio. Great footballer. Nani as well, I'm guessing, is Portuguese. So, oh wow, you could be related to him. So to scale out of the target, at this precise moment in time, the product does not auto scale in and out for you. Within 3 months, there'll be an upgrade that will just be free to members that will scale in and out. Oh, you're Belgium. Damn. That's made me feel a bit stupid, but there we go. Yeah, it will scale you in and out. So what you'll be able to do with the money management module is say 3 is my maximum number of contracts, or if you want to do it on a spread bet, whatever your number is, and then you'll just tell it how much you want to scale in and out. This function here, I'll show you since you've asked such a smart question, is called stretch targets. Stretch targets is how you scale in and out. And basically when it gets to a target, it will reassess and then draw another target in for you. And at the moment it's manual, but it will still tell you that there's another target above it that you can try and make. So yeah, it will help you scale in and out. Sorry about the old Belgian thing you say, yeah. Lukaku, I should say. So I think there might be another question here. Can you walk through how one would do the market review for setting up the day's trading? Yeah, absolutely. Let me show you what I would do. So let's just show you the market review. So this is how I would plan my tomorrow's trading on here. First thing I would personally do, I'm going to have to see how I move. So I've got to just move the control panel for Zoom because I can't get to where I want to get to on the panel. Here we go. So the first thing I would do is I would just switch into my daily chart. And the reason I will look into my daily chart is I just want to see where we are relative to the swarms and what's going on a daily basis. Now you can see here, this is pound sterling. Again, let me just flick this. I'm going to change something on here just so you can see how flexible it is. I'm just going to change this. Instead of days, I'm going to put my weekly projected range on, sorry. So you can see here, these projected ranges are set at the start of the week. What's happened to sterling over the past few weeks? Look at it, even on a daily basis, it came down, it hit our SR2, our swarm reversal 2 level, boom, away it moves. What is it looking to do now? It's looking to move up. So forget today really as a sort of an interesting day just because it was the Brexit decision, so just going up and down like crazy. You can see we're predicting a tight opening and closing range for the week. You can see we're in the middle of the range. That tells me that on the balance of probabilities is we'll move slightly higher, but we're looking to oscillate within a tight range. So what I look to do is tomorrow I will set myself up exactly like this. And those of you that want to do the free trial of the signals, you'll see this all in the signals. I'll even start videoing at night while I'm doing it if you want. Tomorrow I would do this. On the long side, I don't want any range breaks and I don't want to take any small reversals. I'm only going to look for the big reversals. Why? Because I'm moving on a daily basis in a reasonably tight range, which means you can oscillate through a very, very tight range. You don't want to do that. You want to just take the bigger reversals. So same thing here on the 5 minute. I would literally do this, 5 minute, a couple of seconds to load. You can see now what's happening. There's the daily high and low projected. Sorry, what am I talking about? Yeah. I would do exactly the same thing. I would say, I'll look for aggressive targets, but I'll run a very tight stop and I only want my SR2s. Takes you probably, when you first start, let's say 2 minutes to assess the daily direction, and then about 1 minute per chart to set your individual direction. So if you're doing, that's 4 minutes per instrument. If you're doing 3, I've allowed 15 minutes a day. If you want to monitor 4 instruments, I would allow 18 to 20, and that gives you a minute thinking time between each one. So I'll show you that again. Really simple. Let's flick down here. Let's have a look at something else. What do I think would happen on the Dow tomorrow? I'll maximize the screen. I'll flick it into daily. I'll just scale this chart. Sorry about this. So let's have a look at where we are daily. Here's your daily chart, incidentally. Yes, before anybody asks, we correctly got the 1,000-point record ever rise. I'll just put, oh, sorry, clicked on the wrong thing. I'll just put this into weekly. I would normally have another chart set up for this, but I've not done that here. So normally I'd have this chart set up, but for this demo, I decided not to. And now, of course, I've regretted it ever since. So let's turn everything off so I can see what the daily looks like. So my daily assessment here on the Dow, we've moved up from this congestion support here, bit choppy, and now we're just heading very lightly up, okay? Here I'm more likely to have a long bias than a short bias. So if I just flick back into 5-minute mode, this is the way I'll set up tomorrow. There. My long bias, I'll be aggressive, I'll have tight stops, I'll look for both reversals, and I'll also look for range breakouts. On the short side, I would only be looking for big reversal trades. That's how simple it is. Another question, sorry, give me a second. What's the accuracy success rate of projected high and low? What is it? So, well, it depends on the time frame, obviously. But I would say if you're looking at it for reversals for your own, to complement your own trading, high 70%. If you get a coincidence of the projected range with a swarm 2 or swarm 3, you're in the high 90%, 92, 93%, you'll get that big reversal. Like it's very, very, very good at that. You're looking for the coincidence of it at that point. So yeah. Do I have any videos you can watch? We've got tons of videos you can watch, yeah. So what you have to do with this, you have to watch it. So you need to see it live. You need to just understand it. When you do, you'll see that it's pretty accurate. Even more accurate once you get beyond the trial, because obviously you've got more trade types. But in the trial, you are limited to just those 3 algos. But make those work. And yeah, well, we've got guys making oodles. So, okay. So if there are no more questions, which doesn't look like there are, I will wrap it up. Oh, sorry, which level of Sierra chart? Anything, go for the Sierra chart trial. I would go for that to start with. There's one thing, we've got a special deal with Sierra whereby you get a 28-day trial, which rather sneakily coincides with the 28-day, 30 days, sorry, I've just been corrected by the CEO. That's what it's like to be a techie. It's a 30-day trial for us, 30-day trial for Sierra chart. And there's only one version of the product, but it's awesome. Oh, our website, I'm so sorry. There you go. www.intelligex.com. In fact, what I'll do, no, don't worry about the upper cases, man. I figured that. What I'll do is, shall I put the website, I'll put the website up now for a couple of seconds, and then I'll leave that on screen if it can do it. Yeah, there's the website. There's a video on there that just sort of says in less detail than I have. There's a bunch of videos. You can watch this again, obviously. And with that, if there are no more questions, I'm going to do it like auction style. If there are no more questions in, ooh, Mohammed, you got in there just in time. Does it work well with Ninja 8? Yeah, it's completely the same. It's one code base. Everything's the same, really, you know, within the bounds of Ninja. So Ninja does auto trading slightly differently. You know, you have to set up your own strategy. But yeah, it's exactly the same. Same signals. I might even have it on. I won't show you now, but I've got Ninja 8 on here and Ninja 7. There you go, Ninja 7, Ninja 8. I don't know if you can see that. I think I'm not even showing the right window. But yeah, I've got Ninja 8 and Ninja 7 on here. It does there. Yeah, no problem at all, Eusebio. So, final call for questions. Asking once, asking twice. And with that, I'll say thank you. Thank you all for joining us. Good night from Intelligex. God bless you. Happy trading, whether you choose to trade with us. If you choose to trade against us, as we say, we'll see you on the other side. Thank you very much. God bless. Bye-bye.